Hello and welcome to the dev team update from Tau. And it's May. So without further ado, I'll pass it over to Karim for his overview for the month.
Okay, thank you, Fola, and welcome everyone to the May update for the Tau development team. Let's start with Lucca. So Lucca is wrapping up his implementation of the 2CNF extraction from BDDs. And last couple of weeks, actually, we reviewed his implementation, and Ohad has made a lot of suggestions to improve it. So he's working on implementing those improvements, but also he's working on extensive documentation of the entire algorithm and its implementation. David continued his work on the early parser. He's made some contribution where he made some suggestions about how to improve the graph representation, which was later implemented by Umar. But he's also working on Tau, and where he's working on a rewriting system for Tau rules and to simplify the normalization of the first phase in the Tau language. He's got some basic implementation done and working on testing it. He's also started spelling out or writing out the Tau grammar, which is pretty complicated, but he's getting started on it using the early parser, which is the main reason why we developed the early parser in the first place. Tomáš also continued his work on the TML library, where he continues to integrate the new parser into TML. We've completely eliminated the dependency on the old parser, but running Tau with the new parser, we've discovered some bugs, especially with transformations that he's working on fixing. Also refactoring and cleaning out the code because, again, of the new parser library. But he's also started working on the user level documentation for the Tau parser library, which will bring us that much closer to productizing that. Umar, like I said earlier, has worked on improving some of the core functionality of the early parser, where specifically he improved the garbage collection by up to 90%. And he's also, like I mentioned, implemented David and Tomáš's suggestions to the internal representation and to the parser interface. He also tended to the error reporting mechanism, which he's making sure that it doesn't get affected by the garbage collection. Then last but not least, Andrei continued his work on the Tau chain testnet, where he's already found several integration points that we're currently integrating with TML, but in the future they're intended to be integrated with Tau. He's also worked on continuing to refine the Tau Live application, where he improved the scheduling system and the search operations. That's it for the Tau development team update. See you next month.
All right, fantastic. So let's get into the team, and I'll pass it over to Tomáš for his update for the month.
Thank you, Fola. Hello, everyone. This month, I've worked on integrating our parser library with TML. I fixed many bugs regarding transformations and regression tests. And there are still some small bugs I need to fix. I did a lot of refactoring, reformatting, and cleaning of TML's code. I've revised parse errors and processing of the input, and I've also worked on documentation for the parser library. That's all from me.
All right, fantastic. Thanks so much, Tomáš. I'll pass it over to David for his update for the month.
Thank you, Fola. Hi, everyone. As Karim commented, regarding the Tau language, I've been working in the transformation needed for the execution of the Tau language programs. We have evolved from using combinators to implement the transformations into a simpler idea of a general rewriting system. This general rewriting system could be added in the future to the early parser library, so it will be at the disposal of everyone. The basic implementation is done, and I'm working in the testing and also tweaking the API in order to have a really clean interface. Also, as Karim commented, I have brought part of the Tau language grammar just for testing purposes. Apart from that, I have also made some improvements in the early parser, more precisely in the parser generation tool. I have added the grammar information into the generated file, and also I have made all the non-terminals information that we have in the early parser grammars available to C++ directly. That's all for my monthly update. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, David. I'll pass it over to Umar for his update for the month.
Hi, team. Glad to share with you the monthly update. Firstly, in this month, we have worked on improving and collecting more garbage from the early parsing. That included the scenarios where the scanning of the early items failed, and hence the parsing cannot proceed any further from that. So those items need to be collected accordingly. Also, parser relies on character class functions and those character classes, and those early items are created instantly and then completed afterwards immediately. So they are also garbaged out. So those both of these changes were checked in, they were tested, and that showed that there was an improvement of percentage of the items that are collectible. Some of the things that still need to be addressed, they include moving redundant storage of early items in supporting and auxiliary data structures, so that we have one single place, a unified place where we store those early items. That would require undoing some of the previous work in term, and because that would have effect on the forest building and tree extraction and graph extraction. So those changes would take more time to settle down. Yeah, thank you.
All right, Umar, thank you so much. I will pass it over to Andrei for his update this month.
Hello everyone. Last month I continued working on our custom blockchain and continued to improve that unique approach that now allows us to write any part of the blockchain in TML and later TAO. And with this approach, every user of the blockchain will be able to change the blockchain with every new block. So with every new block, it can be a new blockchain. And while my colleagues are working on their TML part, I went back to prepare TAO Live to public testing. I made some improvements to the search feature of TAO Live and also had to deal with some issues in the appointment component. Lastly, I started to develop an application that have a probability to be a revolutionary approach of revealing the true power of TML and then later TAO. This is not a big application. I hope I will finish it in 2-4 weeks, and then we will see if it really that revolutionary. But I hope so. See you next month. I hope with some amazing news.
All right, fantastic. Thank you, Andrei. And over to you, Lucca. Tell us about your month.
Thank you, Fowler. Hello, everyone. So this month I've been continuing to design the DD algorithm for the 2CNF extraction project. As I mentioned last month, there were still some open problems, and this month I tackled them. And there's only one problem left. This is concerned with the alignment of 2CNF information on certain levels of the BDD, and this will be a task for later. And besides that, I documented all of the code that I had written for this project, and yeah, that's been my month. So thank you. Now I'll pass it back to you, Fowler.
Thank you very much, Lucca. And I'll pass it over to Ohad to wrap up the dev team.
Yes, I continue working on the patents to make the patent lawyers happy, and also the work with mainly Professor Paris on a knowledge representation language which is strong enough. Unfortunately, in the last decade, there is no good implementation of strong knowledge representation languages. So we'll need to get into that, and we already have a good basis because a lot of it can be converted to the TAO language. So we continue efforts on this front with some nice successes, but there is still more way to go.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much, Ohad. And that is it from us for May. So we will see you in Telegram. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. And yeah, keep supporting. Thank you so much. Cheers. Bye.